all year long because when it's Summer League, get Timmy Bontemps on Monday and Ohm Youngmisuk on Wednesday to join us here in studio on Bet. And Ohm, you were dapping me up for my shoes, which I appreciate, but I'm telling you, if there's anyone in the entire ESPN talent family who has got a sicker shoe game than me, I yield to our master here. On the electric pink lemonades that you're rocking the Air Max 90s, I got to steal them.
You might be able to. You won't be the first. Somebody tried to take them from me at the Lakers game the other night. They actually said to me, "Did the Lakers give that to you?" I'm like, "No, come on."
And the Tribe Called Quest shirt. I mean, the swag is on infinity. We are so happy to have you here. Tim was great on Monday. You're going to be great today. Anita Marks is my co-host today. She, of course, is standing by to join us from the East Coast and help us out. And I know Anita and I are very excited to dive in later into the show into the Open Championship, which tees off like 8 hours across the pond over there at St. Andrews. But as you know, I have to encourage you and implore you and tell you, our YouTube sports betting channel is where you need to go and subscribe and find every piece of wagering and gambling content that we do. It's always there at your fingertips for you to absorb and take in on your own schedule. That's youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. That is where you need to go. All right, let's dive in first and foremost on this Wednesday with the game, The Good Word. If you don't know out there, I'm going to read or say a statement of some sort across the sporting landscape, has a gambling twist, and then using that big vocabulary and brain of yours, you just tell me the first single word that pops into your head to correlate to that statement. We'll start in Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani is 7-1 to win the AL Cy Young Award. What's your good word for Shohei at that price?
Rising. I think those odds are going to get they might be a little harder, not as good. But right now, I mean, he is starting to dominate.
Yep.
Health is always an issue for Ohtani, of course, but he has 34 Ks in his last 3 games. He's won 5 straight. He hasn't getting up and running in his last 4. I understand McClanahan, Verlander, those are the guys right now. But if Ohtani can stay healthy, he is starting to cook right now. I like him a lot.
Yeah, that means if you like Ohtani the way Ohm does, maybe jump on 7-1 right now. Because if you keep striking out 11 batters per start, not giving up a run, you're not going to see 7-1 on the board for quite some time. My word for Shohei Ohtani at 7-1 we'll get to into a second. But Anita is ready to hop on with us. Anita, 7-1 Ohtani, AL Cy Young. What's your good word?
Showtime and leave out the W, Tyler. That's how I'm rolling, man. This guy, listen, in the last 50 years, okay, there's only been 4 Major League Baseball players that have 3 consecutive starts with a 0 ERA and 10 strikeouts. And Showtime is one of them. And listen, we mentioned McClanahan, we mentioned Verlander. McClanahan, now keep in mind, a youngster here. This is his first Major League Baseball season. Verlander, as we know, with all due respect, grandfather time, right? So both these cats, for various reasons, could be wheeled in a little bit, right? Fatigue, maybe an innings watch. Meanwhile, Ohtani, boy, he is a media darling. So for me, I am all over this 7-1. I am running to the window, guys. I am not walking. I am running to the window.
All right. Seems like we all like Shohei here for good reason. The dude is an absolute freak of nature. In my eyes, the greatest baseball player that's ever walked in this entire planet. My word is demons, which is the opposite of angels. Because the Angels, as an organization and a franchise, are the demons that will likely cost Shohei Ohtani this type of award. Because as long as his team keeps losing and falling further and further out of the AL playoff race, it's going to be harder and harder for Shohei to earn this type of award. Maybe the MVP, it'll be easier because he can add the batting statistics to the pitching statistics. But if you're focusing solely on just the AL Cy Young Award, guys like Justin Verlander pitching for a winning team, guys like Shane McClanahan pitching for a team that struggling a little bit but is better than the Angels. That's why I say demons. Because those Angels, they are not nice. They're an organization and a franchise that is costing Shohei maybe some postseason hardware. All right, let's move to the National Football League real quick. I need to get to you in a second, but I'm going to start here with Ohm. The San Francisco 49ers, they were in the NFC Championship game a season ago. They're 16-1 to win it all this year. What's your good word?
I'm going to say sexy. And listen, we're not even talking about Clark Kent, Superman, Jimmy G here. We're talking about Trey Lance. Now listen, sexy is a good word, but sometimes it can mean anything. Sexy could lead to drama.
Yes.
Sexy could lead to disappointing.
Yes.
Not meeting expectations, okay?
Story of my life.
This is the thing. Trey Lance, very intriguing. We want to see what he can do, but we don't know what he can do. We're hoping that under Kyle Shanahan, who had RG3 for a couple years in Washington, I saw that first year where RG3 decimated the New York Giants, okay? You're hoping that they're going to have that same bond, but we don't know yet. And what's up with Debo? Is Debo going to be happy? Is he going to be with the team? Is he going to be all right? There's so many questions about that, but I will still say this. If all those pieces come together, very, very sexy, and I like the Niners defense.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance's athleticism oozes. If he reaches that full potential in a Kyle Shanahan offense, indeed, it could be sexy and dangerous for other teams in the National Football League. All right, Niners at 16-1 to win it all. Anita, what's your good word?
First things first, my 80-year-old mother who lives down in Florida watches the 49ers because she does think Jimmy Garoppolo is sexy. But my good word is Garoppolo, and for a different reason, and that is everything I'm hearing is that Trey Lance is not ready. And everything I'm hearing, even Adam Schefter is reporting that Garoppolo is going to be traded at some point in time. Teams are sitting back and wanting to see how is that shoulder healing from the surgery he had. Trey Lance is just not ready for the NFL. It has nothing to do with his skill set, right? Dude's a baller, probably one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL, but same kind of scenario that we're seeing with Jordan Love with the Green Bay Packers, right? And not to compare Jimmy Garoppolo to Aaron Rodgers, but nonetheless, these dudes are just not ready. So if it's that time that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be traded, no way. I am staying away from this. Trey Lance is not ready this season to win at least 10 ball games for the 49ers. I say no.
Yeah, we differ a little bit on our take of Trey Lance and what he could be versus what he might be or will be. But dang it, I missed spelling Garoppolo. I thought I was going to get it right with the two P's. I think that's the hardest part, knowing whether it's two R's or two P's. But I had an A instead of an O as the fourth letter, so dang it. Thought I had that one, but alas, it was wrong. All right, my word is more, as in this all comes down to whether or not Anita, Ohm, sophomore quarterback Trey Lance can make that leap in Kyle Shanahan's system and unlock all of that immense athletic potential that he has, which is vastly superior to Jimmy Garoppolo. Of course, Garoppolo has the experience and the smarts to run Kyle Shanahan's offense, but Shanahan's O can really go to the next level if Trey Lance uses his legs, figures out how to get the ball efficiently to Debo, if he's there and happy, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and those running backs. We know they can block. We know they can play defense. They won a lot of games with their defense last season. It all comes down to the sophomore QB, Trey Lance, as to whether or not that bet has any chance of cashing. Finally, we'll go to the association here, Ohm, your specialty, Kevin Durant. KD, we can't do a show without talking about KD right now. Plus 850 is his price to win the MVP in 2023, no matter where he's playing.
I've got motivated.
Motivated.
Look, you know Kevin Durant has been sitting back, reading, listening, watching everything. And so it started where it was like, oh my God, Kevin Durant's going to get the all-time haul in picks and assets and everything to, oh, well, maybe he's not worth that much. Maybe he isn't worth breaking up an entire team. Maybe he isn't worth all these picks. Are you kidding me? Rudy Gobert went for 4 first-round picks. Kevin Durant should be at least 6. But if he doesn't get it, Kevin Durant is going to stew this entire summer if he does not end up where he wants to be. If he ends up back in Brooklyn, I talked to one coach last night in Summer League who said, I would not be surprised at all if Kevin Durant is still a Brooklyn Net when his season starts. If that is the case, you're going to tell me that Kevin Durant isn't motivated to prove everybody wrong? He was already playing like the MVP last season before he got hurt. He is going to be on fire coming out of the season, whether or not he's in the Phoenix Sun uniform or he's even back as a Brooklyn Net.
Motivated, I think, is always what KD is, reading the internet. Anita, what do you have for KD at plus 850?
Where is he going to play? And here's another thing. Everything that we're hearing here in New York is wherever he's going to be dealt, the Nets are going to want the world in return. And what do we know about the MVP voting, guys? It goes to not only players that are sensational, but players who are on winning teams. So I'm a little reluctant. I'm going to stay away from this. Have no idea where he's landing. So,
I think
and
that's
who
fair.
knows?
I think
Yeah.
that's very fair. Where will he be playing? My word is breakup, because I think for Kevin Durant to actually win this MVP, there has to be a breakup somewhere. Whether it's him breaking up with the Nets and going somewhere else and lifting the Heat to a 1 seed, or making Phoenix unstoppable, whatever the case may be, or he's got to break up with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn, and then as the solo star there, take the Brooklyn Nets to the top of the Eastern Conference. That is something he absolutely can do. We've seen him do it before elsewhere. But that's why I say breakup, because I think a breakup is necessary one way or the other for KD to actually be good value there at plus 850 for league MVP. All right, Anita, since we have Ohm here, we might as well dive into some NBA questions here with Ohm. I'll start with this. The Golden State Warriors, obviously a team you know very well. We saw Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman play together last night. What were your thoughts about seeing them together for the first time in a long time? And what role do you think they will have as the Warriors try to defend their title this season?
Exciting. The thing is, we've been talking about Golden State is this unique champion that we've never really seen before, a champion that comes back and will defend its title with basically 3 lottery picks coming back to help them. And that's the thing, everybody talks about what they lost, Gary Payton Jr., Gary Payton II, Otto Porter Jr., but they come back with Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. Moses Moody had 34 points the other night. I get it. It's Summer League. I totally get it, okay? Jonathan Kuminga still is a work in progress. You see him a lot of times where he's driving the lane, spinning out of control, but he's still got those intriguing skills that you want to watch. And then the key is Wiseman. Man, if Wiseman can hit a 3 like he did the other night, and he's that active inside and he has stamina, and that's a big if, but that's a big addition to what the Warriors do. And look, the Warriors still have guys. Their leaders are still they're not out of their prime, okay? But when you add this element of young guys there, they're bridging to the next generation where they're trying not to skip a beat. The key is what everybody wants to know: is there a chance that Kevin Durant could go back to Golden State? And listen, I think if you're Golden State, you always got to look into that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think they really like the ability to, hey, when Draymond, Steph, and Clay are done, we can just go right to the next bridge of these other young stars.
Well, that's actually my question for you, Ohm, right? The banner's not even hanging up in the arena yet, but it's one of those opportunities, one of those teams that KD could land on in exchange for all that young talent and maybe some draft picks. Realistically, are you feeling that could happen?
I do think that the Warriors are one of these teams that realistically they probably could make a deal that the Nets would listen to and take, because they have so much young talent. They do have picks. And listen, they have an ownership that will pay any amount to win. He's proven that. So I would just think that right now, though, the Warriors are this one team that defending champions we haven't seen too much from. They actually have a young group.
Yeah,
they have they still have their championship core intact, and they can actually bridge that gap. We've never really seen that before. So I think their plan is to stay that way. But listen, as this summer drags out, we got to see, is Kevin Durant, is the price going to come down?
Yeah.
If the price comes down, then we really don't know. We really don't.
Then the Warriors become even more attractive if the price comes down, because they have a lot of those assets you're talking about if they want to part with them. Now, another team that's been in the summer saga storylines is the LA Lakers. They always are, because, LeBron's there now. And Kyrie Irving, the teammate of, for now, Kevin Durant, apparently wants to go to LA and end up there. Rumor has it, if the Lakers were willing to give up 2 first-rounders, then the deal could be done from the Nets side. So if that is indeed the case, why haven't the Lakers, kind of pulled the trigger on that?
Why? Why do they have to do it now? If there is no market for Kyrie Irving, and there's a lot of teams that are just kind of we don't really want to mess with that kind of drama and that kind of fire, as talented as he is, then why would the Lakers have to give up more than even 1 pick? If I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm not doing it. Basically, this is just a stare-down contest between Rob Pelinka and Sean Marks right now. And I think Sean Marks, look, he's cool as a cucumber. He's going to wait this out as long as he can. And I do think they want to see the first domino would be Kevin Durant before they do anything with Kyrie Irving. There is no rush right now to get that done. I do still think that Kyrie Irving will probably eventually end up as a Laker.
Okay.
Just because I just think there's just too much damage that's been done there in Brooklyn to really run this back. Can they still run it back? Yes. But I just think that, he'll probably end up a Laker. That's just my guess.
Okay.
But I would say that right now the Lakers can just wait this out. There's no reason to give up 2 picks. They got to hold on to assets. They've been giving up too many assets, right?
You get a
and
pick.
Listen,
You get a pick.
in Los
You get a
Angeles,
pick.
look, we're used to like the Rams. Nobody cares about first-round picks, right?
Right.
LA, they just
Right.
care about championships.
Right.
But in this case, for the Lakers, you just can't keep giving up so much.
LeBron is turning 38, and he won't be there forever, as much as you may like him to if you are the Lakers.
Yep.
Exactly, guys. Braun, I should say, is running the show over there. He doesn't care about future draft picks. But with that being said, just out of curiosity, what are the chances that Kyrie and KD either stay together on the Nets, or could they be packaged and both be traded to another team? What's the likeliness that they stay together?
I think it's pretty slim. I think if they were to end up stay together, it would be in Brooklyn. I just don't see them going together in a package deal to Los Angeles or anywhere else. I just think that if they were to end up together, and maybe there is the slight chance that they do in Brooklyn because of the price being too high for Kevin Durant, and then maybe eventually the Lakers just say, hey, we're not going to pay this price that you want for Kyrie Irving. If Sean Marks wants too much, then they can just say, we're going to run it back with these two guys. But like I said, everything that they were saying at the end of the season, that was all leading toward Kyrie Irving saying, we want people who want to be here. We want people who are going to be team players. I just feel like there is no way those two are going to come back in Brooklyn. And it's just too hard for any other team to take on both of them.
Awesome stuff, as always, from our guy. Anita loves you. I love you. The people love you. Ohm Youngmisuk joining us here in studio on Bet. Shoe game is elite. Next time, though, I will make sure that I'm wearing the Air Max 90s as well. Good stuff as always. We appreciate you dropping by. Safe travels back home.
Thanks for having me.
In the meantime, we continue a bet here by turning to the Lynx and St. Andrews, where Mark Schleybaugh is anchoring our coverage.
Thanks, Tyler. It's the eve of the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews. All eyes are on Tiger Woods. How does he bounce back after having to pull out of the PGA Championship back in May? Earlier this week, Rory McIlroy said, if the wind's howling like it is right now, this is going to be a game of chess. Nobody's played that game better than Woods in the last 20 years. Back in 2000, Tom, when he won by 7 shots, didn't hit a single ball in a bunker. 5 years later, hit 3 in, won by 5. What does he do this week?
Well, Rory also said expect to see him here on Sunday. Talked to Justin Thomas. He says, you know what, Tiger's actually playing really, really well. So only Tiger really knows exactly how he's going to fare this week. But the conditions, the course he knows so well, ignore him at your peril.
Tiger, a long shot to win here. Jordan Spieth, one of the favorites. I'm going with Jordan Spieth to win. He's a magician around the greens. Has the best scoring average at the Open since 2015. Does a great job on these British Isle courses. Who's your pick, Tom?
So I tell you what, Jordan Spieth, a lot of the stewards here around the course are tipping him to win. But I'll tell you what, it's been a long old wait for people in this part of the world for a British Open champion. 1990, the last one, Nick Faldo then. Rory McIlroy this time around, you know what, he's playing well, the Canadian Open. He's the favourite, and he seems pretty confident as well. So I'm going for Rory.
My dark horse is Tommy Fleetwood. The Englishman's form hasn't been great the last couple of years, but he tied for 5th at the PGA Championship, tied for 4th last week at the Scottish Open. Likes the wind. If it keeps howling, he's going to be in contention. Who's your dark horse?
I'm going for Tyrrell Hatton. So he's won the Dunhill Links twice. He knows his course so well. If the conditions start playing a little bit of a part in the whole proceedings on Saturday, Sunday, he's someone who knows his course better than anyone.
You bumped into old Tom Morris's great-great-granddaughter. Who does she like?
Anyone British. And that's what she's going for at the moment, so she'd be delighted to see Hatton walking down the 18th on Sunday evening. But yeah, I mean, as she's been watching this course for so long out of the window of old Tom Morris's shop just over there on the links, overlooking the 18th, she's hoping for a British winner.
Go Ian Poulter.
Good stuff from our crew there on the grounds at St. Andrews. Anita and I love to hit the link, so we, with the final major of this year, are going to play 2 par 3 holes. First, we're going to give 3 plays that are just straight up outright winners. Then we will go to 3 other types of bets we want to make for St. Andrews, which again tees off, if you're like me on the West Coast, tonight for Anita, very early tomorrow morning. So Anita, let's start with 3 outright winning plays at St. Andrews.
Okay, first and foremost, I love Schauffele. He looked great last week, obviously winning the Scottish Open, and I don't think there's a hotter golfer coming into this tournament. Momentum is everything, and as we know, he finished in the top 15 in 2 previous majors already this season, the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship. I'm also going to put some money on Jordan Spieth. Why? Jordan loves to play across the pond. He loves link-style courses. He loves slow greens. And again, I think did well last week in the Scottish Open. And last but not least, nobody's talking about Patrick Cantley, Tyler, and I don't understand why. Right? Like coming in very low on the radar. Last 6 starts, he missed the cut only once, and the remaining 5, he finished 14th or better. He's got 3 top 5s and in top 10 and par 4 scoring, which we know that's what he ranks, and that's going to be a really big metric heading into this week.
I like those picks. You're right about the X-Man. Back-to-back wins and starts. Always a big game hunter at the majors. Spieth's success speaks for itself. But, Anita, that's not true. No one's not talking about Patrick Cantley. Your boy is talking about Patrick Cantley. My first outright winning play is Patrick Cantley at 22-1. I think this guy has the game to win multiple majors in his career. He has not broken through yet. And he had that awful Sunday at the Travelers, I think, a couple of weeks ago, where he just blew up. But he did rebound at the Scottish Open to finish T4. He's finished top 15 in 5 of his last 6 events worldwide. Need him to play well at majors, but certainly at this type of course, he has the game with no weaknesses. Very, very good. Maybe not elite at anything, but very, very good to great at all aspects of the game. So you and I both liking Patrick Cantley at 22-1. I think my favorite play is Cam Smith at 25-1. Here is yet another guy who has not won a major, who I think is destined to break through very soon. I played him at Augusta, where he finished 3rd. I played him at the PGA Championship and the U.S. Open. I'm going right back to him here at St. Andrews. His putter has kind of fallen off a little bit in recent weeks, but his last time out, he putted well at the Scottish Open. He's won the Players. His game, like Cantley, there's absolutely no weaknesses when he's on. He can do everything very, very well. And finally, Tony Finau at 40-1. I didn't know this, but when I did my research, Anita, Finau is awesome at the Open Championship and awesome on link-style courses. He has the 5th best scoring average of all players in this field at the Open since 2015, minimum 10 rounds. And he has the 4th most strokes gained per round at British Isle link-style courses since 2015, like St. Andrews is. So Finau has always done well in this style of golf. At 40-1, I have no problem throwing that as kind of a mini long shot, even though he has never broken through. So 3 guys, never won a major. My favorite play is to be an outright win. Let's play another par 3. This time, just give me 3 bets that you like as it pertains to the Open.
All right, I'm going to go with the top 5, and that is Rory, right? Top 10 in each of his last 3 majors so far this season. He's got 4 straight top 5s at the Open. He is money from 100 and 125 yards out, which is a big metric and really key. And he did not play in the Scottish Open, so he's coming in very rested. Top 20, give me Shane Lowry, right? Like at home in his own backyard, links course. He's tremendous. And one of the most important metrics this week is going to be scrambling. And Lowry ranks in top 3 overall this season on the tour in scrambling. These guys are going to be scrambling their butts off. And last but not least, give me Jordan Smith. We talked about him last week, right? He's not a household name over here in the States, but on the Euro Tour, dude's unbelievable. He is a top 20 machine. And did well last week at the Scottish Open. So if I could get him to finish in the top 40 at plus 150, Tyler, look at this, the 140. Look at this, the 144th at St. Andrews. This is the actual pin flag on hole 18. How about that? I won this in a golf tournament.
That is sick. I'm not surprised you have a little trinket like that. Maybe makes the bear jealous. I think he's got an open flag in his den, but I don't know if it's from the home of golf, St. Andrews. Well done, Anita Marks. I love your Rory play. I love your Jordan L. Smith play. He's in a pool that I drafted with a buddy. But I'm going to start with Keith Mitchell, a top 40 play at even money, plus 100. Mitchell has been playing really well. He's made 6 straight cuts, made the cut, and finished inside the top 40, 36 at the Scottish Open. And here's the kicker, Anita. I know you like these little nuggets. His sister went to school in St. Andrews, and his father is a member of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club at St. Andrews. He's very familiar with this track and this area. Top 40 for Mitchell, who's playing well. I like that. The Belgian bomber, Thomas Pieters, plus 350 to finish inside the top 20. Peter's one of the longest players in the entire world, and even though this is not necessarily a long course, I do think length will help you as you try to scramble around the greens and set yourself up for shorter shots, especially since the wind appears to be pretty benign for most of this week. He's in good form as well. Never missed a cut at the Open, no matter where it's been played, and 3 top 10s in his last 6 worldwide starts. And like you, I'm a big fan of Rory this week. I'm going to play him as the favorite, plus 200, to be the highest finishing former champion. There's like 18 former champions or something like that. 14 or 15 of them, like Mark Calcavecchia and David Duval, you can completely just wipe up. They might probably not going to make the cut. You got to worry about Spieth, maybe a little bit of Oosthuizen and Shane Lowry, maybe Tiger Woods, but probably not. So I like Rory, who's playing awesome golf all year long, and he seems like he is poised to break through and get that elusive 5th major that he's taken almost a decade now to try and find. So no matter where he finishes, I think he finishes as the highest former Open champion that is in this field. All right, I like that. Maybe do a couple par 3s, no matter what the tournament is going forward. I like that one. Let's get to Major League Baseball and Diamond Dollars. Looking back at last week's results, Anita, 9 wagers had you coming out $32 ahead. You won 5 of them, but hey, it's the money that matters. So you're actually up now to $1.57. We're both in the black. We've both been profitable, but I lost $11.50 last week, so I'm down to $1.36. I imagine there is 9 to 10 wagers you got to get through for Wednesday, so the floor is yours.
All right, let's start with Aaron Judge, the man I'm wearing on my shirt, going up against Mike Minor tonight. So I've got Aaron hitting a home run, over 1.5 hits, as well as an RBI. He is due. He hasn't hit a home run, only 1 in his last 10 games. So tonight he's going to get after it. I like the Phillies on the money line. Wheeler, he has been a man possessed. Last 2 starts, he's been outstanding, has not allowed a run. And Houston and the Angels, give me the under here in the first 5, as well as the under total 7. Ohtani's going up against, a very good Javier starting dominant pitcher for Houston. So, and the Angels are only batting 122. On top of that, it's probably my favorite bet tonight. I know we've got Daily Wager coming up around the corner. Might be my best bet. I don't know. That's the Padres on the run line and Musgrove, baby, with the win. He has been fantastic. 8-2 with a 2.09 ERA, 33 strikeouts in his last 27 innings. So I love Musgrove tonight. And last but not least, I'm going to play a fun parlay. Dodgers, Yankees, Padres, they all win on the money line. The odds for them individually to win on the money line, not tempting, but if you parlay them, it's plus 236.
All right, I like that. 10 wagers for Anita after she had 9 last week, but was very profitable. And one of those kind of game scripts that you're developing for a set of your plays, I am leaning into as well. I do think the Yankees offense is in a great spot to bounce back and put up some big-time crooked numbers against Red starter Mike Minor. So I'll get to Minor in a second, but Shane McClanahan's a guy you know I love, starter and Cy Young Award favorite for the Tampa Bay Rays. McClanahan over 7.5 Ks. A $16 bet returns 28. McClanahan leads Major League Baseball in strikeouts. He's had 8 or more Ks in about 75% of his starts this season. Boston has a good lineup, but McClanahan's at home on his bump. 8 Ks, something he does almost 3 out of 4 starts. And then there's that play on Mike Minor. Over 3.5 earned runs against the Yankees. Minor this season has made 6 starts, I believe, and in 4 of them, he has allowed 4 or more earned runs. And if you don't think the Yankees and their offense, which, by the way, is the best in Major League Baseball and the most powerful against left-handed pitching, especially left-handed pitching that is kind of over the hill, doesn't throw hard, doesn't miss bats, and walks a lot, if you don't think they're going to be dialed in to a tone in front of their home fans for that embarrassing loss last night, I just think it's a great situational spot for the Yankees and their offense to really dial in and attack Mike Minor, who's a weak left-handed starting pitcher. So we have some correlation there. I don't care if it's all Judge just banging out homers and RBIs. That's what I want to see from that Yankee offense.
Really quick before we sign off, we didn't even talk about Tiger. Tyler, I've got Tiger
10 seconds. Does he make the cut?
Making the cut and also finishing the top 20 and top 40. So there.
Enjoy the Open, Anita. Love you. Love you out there. Best of luck tonight and all your wagers, everyone.
Three, two. All right, let's talk about the Open and Tiger Woods. How am I playing him this week? First and foremost, I absolutely believe he's going to make the cut. You can get that at minus